about this cake getting stranger and stranger.
Sorry, folks.
There's something going on. Your freedom is in danger. Agents of the state, they taking children from the manger. Oh, they will sacrifice your kid. Take Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. They needed someone, oh, Jody wouldn't flip. They looked around, saw him quick. Oh, it made so much sense. Why?
Hello, everybody.
Oh, Brendan Dassey,
He was Steven's alibi.
there's something going on in Wisconsin that's not kosher. We better stop, let's all take a look closer. Oh, they will sacrifice your kid for Brendan Dassey. That's exactly what they did. They visit him once, they visit him twice. They make him feel so safe. Sandwiches, soda, so nice. No cameras rolling and under no lights. Who knows what went on up in Fox Hill Monday night? There's something going on. The freedom is in danger. Everything about this cake getting stranger and stranger. All we know, they will sacrifice your kid. Oh, Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. March 1st, alone in a room with Bert and Ernie.
Bert and Ernie.
No parent present and no attorney. 4 hours later, with a touch of the knee.
Yes, I'm early.
They finally get Brendan to agree. There's something going on. I said there's something going on.
Hi, Daz.
Oh,
Hi, Schweezy.
they will sacrifice your kid. Take Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. There's something going on. I said freedom is in danger when the agents of the state can take the children from the manger. Oh, they will sacrifice your kid. Take Brendan Dassey, that's exactly what they did. Take Brendan Dassey, oh, that's exactly what they did.
Hi, Huggy. How's everybody doing? Switch over here. Hello. Hi, everybody. So, I actually wasn't planning to go live today, but I'm going live today because I anticipated people were going to have questions about Brendan, and it would just be easier to go live and talk about it, I guess, rather than try to upload a video or whatever, something about it. So also, you know, to talk about Brendan, but one other thing I wanted to talk about here at the beginning, not case related, to all of my, you know, all the people who are new to my channel or new to me and discovering me at this point in time. I'm going to go ahead and say, look, I apologize. I'm new to going live on YouTube. I am adjusting and learning, and I want to let everybody know that, yes, I am aware that people are annoyed by me having to squint at the comments. I am working on getting some reading glasses so that I can do this better. But this is just some of the things you learn as you start to do YouTube live and you start to get feedback. So for those people who are new to my channel, give me a little bit of grace because I'm not all spit and polish here like some of the other things you might watch. But who knows? I might get there in the next year or two. So just wanted to address that. I may slow down on the lives until I actually get the glasses because there are so many, you know, people that are mentioning it and talking about it, and so I just want to address it and get it dealt with. But so yeah, so I just wanted to say that for, you know, for those people who come in and are new to this channel, look, I'm improving. I'm getting better. I'm learning as I go here. And yes, I'm aware that squinting at the comments is annoying. So I apologize in advance. Oh, I know, haters gonna hate, but some people actually, I mean, the thing is that some of the comments came in going, you know what, I'm sure you probably have some really terrific knowledge, but I just can't stand watching you squint at the comments. When I get a comment like that, I'm like, okay, wait, I'm driving away somebody, potentially driving away somebody because I need to get some glasses. So, I mean, that's it. You know, I can see it's a just criticism. So I'm not mad. I got to deal with that. People really complain about stuff like, yeah, I've been getting a few complaints about me squinting at the comments. Yeah, more than a couple. Oh, well, thank you, Rhonda. Thank you, everybody. I'm so glad. I mean, obviously I have my people here that are here for my chats every night and stuff who love me, obviously. But I'm also worried about picking up those people who don't know me. Obviously, that's one of my strengths. That's one thing that's people like about me is that I'm genuine and honest and all those things. But if they can't stick around long enough to see those things because they're tired of looking at me squinting at the comments, so you see where I'm at. There's like this balance. I can see it's a just criticism, so I'm not mad about it. I would squint too. We don't mind the squinting. Let's see. The complaints are from Falcon and his 11 accounts. Could be. Let's see. You do a perfect job for me. Look forward. Oh, thank you so much, Lindsay. One thing everyone should have to take a shot every time you squint. That's if this was turning into a drinking game, but I hope it's not, because I don't want Erekose to be synonymous with people getting, pissed drunk. OMG, you are doing fine. F those that can't seem to be able to handle the real world. Keep on going. I am keeping going. I'm just gonna, I got to be open to some criticism. I can't just be like a turtle living in my shell. We call you Squint. That's funny. Actually, I don't mind that, because I used to watch Bones, and I always liked the squints. That's what Booth always called all the scientists with squints. I always thought that was funny. I would enjoy just the audio. Oh, well, thank you, A. Woodward. People are ridiculous. Well, maybe. No worries, man. We can always watch later. That's convenient for you. Is best. Until you do YouTube as a full-time job, you just got to do what you got to do. Well, there is something to that, because I do have a 9-to-5 that I do in addition to all of this. So, but it still doesn't mean that I can't look to improve in certain ways. Doesn't mean that it's all. I can't. It doesn't mean I have to shut myself off to improvement. So. Glad others are starting to see what I've been seeing for years. I've heard some serious stuff for it over the years. Did you see the monkey multiplied? Yeah, the monkey multiplied. We got hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil over there now. So just keep being who you are. Oh, thank you guys. I love you guys, right? I love you guys here. Do you think they can use a voice analysis to detect who was in the background of the Colburn call? From what my friend Johnny, who made the original video that most of you are probably have seen because it has 500,000 views now. If you've seen that video, my friend Johnny said that was the best he could clean that up. But maybe if there's like an actual master tape somewhere that somebody has, or that it's been converted onto a CD, or there's just some kind of master copy that has very, very minimal degradation in it, maybe possibly then. But my friend Johnny said that was really the best he could clean that up. But maybe there's somebody out there that could possibly clean it up a little better. Let's see, Marissa. Now that he has some friends, maybe he'll behave. The last comment for me was maybe. Let's see here. Thanks, Dassey. You got to be pretty shallow to give a hang if you're squinting. Well, I can imagine. I mean, I just think about it. If I was watching a YouTube video, I could potentially see myself getting annoyed by something like that. It's just, I mean, I don't know. It's just something like, it's understandable, kind of, in a sense. So, I've been researching this MAM just now. Been researching this before MAM, and I just now have more proof to speak my mind. I just happen to love turtles and tortoises. Oh, okay. All right, Ziggy, the monkey is everywhere. Yeah. You are going live or posting a video like every night, and people are complaining about that. Thank you for what you do. Thank you so much, Christina. You're just fine the way you are, and I'm sorry people need to get together. Much bigger picture here. Yeah, I agree. Thank you so much, though, LL Grace. That's very sweet. Squints was a legend in The Sandlot. Oh yeah, The Sandlot. I love that movie. You're killing me, Smalls. It's not just criticism, in my opinion. Plus, this is for SA and BD. Now that he has some friends, maybe he will behave right. What's up, Master? M-A-M. Oh, Mamsters. That's funny. Hi, Spicy. Let's see. I love Bones. I also read the books. She is Kathy Reichs. Yeah, absolutely. I used to watch the show. You know, it was great. I used to think the show was really funny. Let's see. Like I've always said, you are such a great friend to Stephen Brennan. Don't stop doing what you're doing. Thank you. I absolutely won't. I mean, seriously, I just got to deal with it. I just got to figure out. I got to get some glasses so that I can just see this better. And I mean, for me, it's a fair criticism. So I'm not overly hurt by it or anything like that. It's just, it was a criticism, and I'm gonna look into getting a pair of glasses. Hopefully, I'll have them within the next couple days. Curse of Oak Island and live Erekose chat. Busy night. Oh, you're watching book Curse of Oak Island? Oh, that's funny. Let's see. Do you have an Instagram? Okay. Yes, I watched QT's video. Interesting. Yes. So that was interesting. Someone said to me tonight that if the cops wanted to frame SA so they didn't have to give him the 33M, then why not just kill him? Or the 33 million. Then why not just kill him? Well, because Peterson actually said that. He actually said that if they wanted to get rid of him, they could have just killed him rather than trying to frame him. So that was actually came out of one of their mouths. Usually listen to you in the morning while I work, but glad to catch another live. Oh, great, awesome, Johnny. Glad to hear it, buddy. Let me see. Okay, so everybody's talking now about Perplexed Cutie's upload today. Her the video she put up today. So I didn't get to watch the full video, but I watched the first part of it that dealt with Brendan and his confession. So what the interesting thing there is, see, I listened to Brad Dassey radio interview today. Scott and BOD just seem to look more and more guilty. The more and more I find out, that does seem to be happening. Will you do a squinting live on my case and see if I can get some letters sent on your case? Have you emailed me, Ziggy? If you haven't, email me about what you're talking about, and I will certainly look into this case, whichever case it is that you're talking about, and see if there's something we can say or do about it. Trump pardoned the turkey today, so I asked in chat to pardon Stephen and Brandon next, and said they should be home for Thanksgiving. I look at a serial killer with most glasses. Be careful what you get. I look like a serial killer with most glasses. Be careful. Okay. Good to know. Hi, Adrian. Let's see here. Does Len really have a YouTube channel? I don't know. Does he? They couldn't kill him because the money would just go to the family, right? Glasses do that. I think KZ ruled cops out with blood evidence. Well, yeah, she seems to have ruled them out. Michelle Saunders, they couldn't kill him because the money, right? Just started watching your stuff, loving the passion, the attention to detail, and your ability to portray just the facts. So many armchair quarterbacks, so few folks who generally want the truth. Well, thank you very much, Gendron. I can discuss my video tomorrow, dude. Yeah. So, okay. Hello, Adrian. Lynn, I bet his kitty is a moderator. Yeah. If you get glasses, they'll just complain about the glare. Yeah, that probably. Yeah, you might be. You might be right about that, actually. Hey, Ray. By the way, don't stress over negativity. I've been hearing negatives for 2 years. Who cares? Yeah, I'm not stressing over it. I just think it's a valid criticism. I don't know. Voice chat. But you don't have to take a breath. Let Erekose speak. Anyone else want to see Denzel Washington take out all these corrupt turds in a big... So, I don't really want to go through Laura's whole video, but I do want to say one thing about what she brought up today. And that was the bit about Brendan, you know, talking about the blazer. I mean, that's... If you go along with it, then it implicates that Brendan did see something. And that creates another problem for me as well, is because so you watch this confession, there doesn't seem to be any of it that comes from him. In fact, this whole part that leads up to him saying this, they're putting him in places. They're telling him, you're in the garage, you're here, you're there. I mean, setting it up completely. Not, you know, it's not coming from him necessarily, so it's still hard to believe. But then again, Steven didn't own a blazer, so it could be kind of it could be interesting to watch this play out. It'll be interesting to see what Laura has to say tomorrow about it. But to me, Brendan's confession just seems so riddled with inaccuracies and things that don't make sense and things that can't be corroborated, and it just, I mean, there's just so little substance there, so very little substance. It's hard to know, but like I said, we can talk a little bit about that because I already saw people bringing it up in the chat here, so I knew it was going to come up. But like I said, I'm gonna leave most of the analyzation for Laura to do tomorrow. But yeah, that was an interesting fact that she came up with in her video today. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, go check out her video that she uploaded today. It's very interesting. It's something to think about, and you know, so go check out her video though. It's, you know, it's worth a watch. And then look for her. She's apparently going to be going live tomorrow to talk about it, so look for her live tomorrow night. I was in jobs. Let's see. I found what Zellner has. If I found what I found, Zellner has way more. That stands to reason. Let's see the document. Let's see. Is the document real that the cops had the FL bullet for 4 months? No. Okay, so. No, that document is... Well, the document's real, but the issue with it is that it's Mark Wiegert making a huge mistake. A really, really huge mistake. That's, I guess, the only way you can look at it. It's, I mean, for him as the lead investigator to make that mistake, to me, is kind of really, really bizarre. Because, I mean, think about how hard they were working on Brendan to tell him to put things in the garage, to say things happen in the garage. Garage. They were pounding that home on him. And then and then after doing that, after leading him down that path, then they get back in there and suddenly find this magic bullet that has no concrete dust from jackhammering the floor, that is sitting on top of the dust from jackhammering the floor, and, you know, just on and on. Then Sherry Culhane's, you know, doing the DNA test on it, and somehow the control sample has Teresa and Sherry's DNA in it. Like, so, you know, what, you know, it's just a mess. It's such a mess with that bullet. But the fact that he could forget that him and Tom Fassbender were pushing Brendan to say things happen in the garage that got them in there to find that, I don't know, dude. Mark Wiegert, I guess, didn't eat his Wheaties that day or something, because he just totally screwed that report up. Instead of glasses, just increase the size of your font. You can get reading glasses from anywhere for a couple bucks. That's what I was, but I was worried about getting the right kind that wouldn't be, anyways. Well, I'm going to look into it. Did Laura Nyrider come out with a video today? Laura Nyrider? No. Perplex Cutie. Just don't get any glasses making look like Bubbles from Trailer Park Boys, because that makes you having a cat a little too real. Okay. Like I said, dude, the cat, you guys got to understand, I love animals, and I just did not want to see the cat perish. So, but I like the cat, but when it comes down to it, I want to get a dog eventually, and I tend to. Erekose, if you're on a Mac, hit command. I'm not, I'm on a PC. Look at the evidence. There are 10 women missing from Wisconsin, and one of the women that is missing had a poster of a man that could abduct her. This man looked just like Bobby Dassey. What are your take on this? I've seen that. It's hard to say a drawing looks like, but I guess you could say there's a bit of a resemblance. A bit of a resemblance in that drawing to Bobby. I don't believe Perplex video was a bombshell. Brendan was pulling anything he could think of. That's a fair point, Michelle. I'm of a similar mind, but I can't help but deny that it was an interesting statement. But it's like one tiny little grain of sand amongst a sea of complete hogwash. So it's hard to say if it means anything or not. I agree with you. Okay, I just found your channel. Didn't know your name. Whoops. Let's see here. I don't think Brendan was involved in the murder, but perhaps he saw something. That could be. That is a possibility. And trust me, as we all begin to digest this information over the next day or two, we will begin to think about other things in the case that we learn and think about, and there may be that we're going to end up putting it into some other context. So we'll have to see what happens as we all mull this over. We'll probably begin to think of other things, and we'll have more conversations about it and that sort of thing. So the control sample had only Culhane's DNA in it. But then later he told his mom that some of it was true. So who knows what is truth or not from BD. Then the constant, we know what happened, touch knee, then Brendan talks about the garage. Did the Dasseys have a garage? Yes, they did. Problem is this. No court at the top is going to overturn BD's case, because when his case falls apart, so does SA's. Ka-ching, ka-ching. That's a fair point. Or at least that's a fair concern. I will say that, Gendron. Open your eyes, people. It's in case so all of the cops ignored. They stuck to an agenda. I think we all agree with you, Millbilly Jeebs. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, but in terms of the cops, ignoring things and having an agenda, I agree with you. Let's see here. See your point. Not that boy has very, very limited way of expression. What's going on with making a murderer? Did anybody get released yet? No. Nobody. Steve and Brendan are still in prison. They wanted to place Steve and Teresa in either his house or the garage, probably because they knew they were going to plant the bullet. It would help their narrative. Absolutely. That's certainly plausible. And so did Newhouse. He made a mistake on the date for the bullet, FL. Could be, but we know they found that bullet on March 3rd or whatever it was. So it makes sense that it actually went to the crime lab on March 16th or whatever the date is that Newhouse gives. But as far as I can tell, it's just Mark Wiegert just completely pulled a freaking bonehead move. That's kind of what it looks like to me, but obviously we can investigate further. Michelle and I am not saying he is or is not involved, but looking past the BS setup, there are many things he said that point to him seeing something. It'll cost the state $1 bazillion to fix this. They don't want to pay ever. Why no one talking about how is it the detective know more about the crime than Brendan did, as if they were the one to commit the crime? Exactly. It was all fed to him. The narrative was fed to him. Everything was fed to him in this. It's so much is fed to him. It's hard to tell if any of it is true, because so much. Yeah, it's they made a complete mess of it. That's just the way it is. All statements from Scott and Bobby prove. All the statements from Scott, Bobby, Mike, Blaine, and Brendan prove Steven did not do this. Hi, it's my birthday. Happy birthday, Kevin. Kevin Austin's birthday, everybody. That was the second half of my video. In the drawing you were talking about, tattoo. El Fallon, yes, they have a garage. KZ says it's in processing. That's true. I think the drawing of tattoo is saying it's on the forearm. Let's see here. Get the same sketch artist that drew Stephen Avery back in the 80s. Oh, Gene the Pencil? Kush? You mean the pencil? Unfortunately, he's passed on. He's no longer with us. Let's see here. I wish we could have evidence we could have the evidence logs, like the mistake when they have it documented that the RAV4 was found on November 3rd. I'm convinced they found the RAV on the day that the truck driver told Colburn where he saw it. That pretty much is highly plausible and highly improbable. But there were serious issues with FK and FL. He was guessing, none of it made sense, and he kept changing his story when the cops weren't happy with the answer. Exactly. He has no idea what he's saying. He, them, they, him. I believe Brendan is autistic and literally had no idea because he couldn't keep up with the information. Charlie Kane, why would they do an Alfred plea when they are not guilty and the evidence presented was shoddy? And Stephen and Zellner will not do an Alfred plea. It's not an option. The state can offer it, but it won't be taken. KZ has made that already very clear. That's not how she operates. She doesn't take on cases to get people Alfred pleas so that the state can get themselves off the hook. She puts in a lot of money to make these cases right, and so when she gets them right, She then goes after the county, state, whatever, civilly in the civil courts and gets the money back. Gets the money for her client and the money that she spent, you know, and recoups her losses and gets a little bit of money for all the effort that her law firm puts in. So that's basically how that works. An Alford plea is just not on the table. It's not going to happen. Isn't a case of two officers described standing by the fire pit, poking at it with sticks, and thinking they poked a bone and rolling it over and stuff. That sounds like when Yost and Sturdivant, I believe, find the bones. I think that's what you're referring to, possibly. He's not autistic. If you listen to him in MAM2, definitely not autistic. I've got 2 words for you. Control question. Yep. Thanks for bringing that up. Everybody, there's the control question t-shirt. So, if the biggest reason why I can say that I believe that Brendan was absolutely coerced, absolutely led down a path and fed a story, is one of the big things that proves that to me is the control question. Okay? And many of you have heard me talk about the control question many times. But, see, when it comes to Brendan's confession, the control question proves a lot of things. Okay? It probably wouldn't have been that big of a deal if the state, if Tom Fassbender hadn't been going around and saying that it was proof that Brendan was resisting officers. That's the way they went around presenting the control question. They say that when Brendan agrees with Tom Fassbender that Teresa had a tattoo that she didn't actually have, that is somehow Brendan resisting. That is what the state is saying. Okay, that is complete hogwash. Okay, so the reason why it's important, because the state has chosen to misrepresent it. And not only that, Tom Fassbender goes on every TV talk show, radio show, every one that he's been on, and he brings up that control question and states that the control question proves that Brendan was resisting. When you look at the control question, that is not what the control question says. Okay? Tom Fassbender makes up a fake fact, just to give everybody the gist of what happens here. Tom Fassbender makes up a fake fact about Teresa. He makes it up and he says Teresa had a tattoo on her stomach, okay, which she did not have in real life. And he tells Brendan she had a tattoo on her stomach. Do you remember that? To which Brendan says, Now, had he stopped right there, the control question would have been a success. Because Brendan would have denied the made-up fact that he asked about, right? And therefore that would have been proof that to them, or it would have been something that points to the fact that Brendan was speaking truthfully and that sort of thing, and wasn't just succumbing to their will. But the problem is that Tom Fassbender didn't stop there. Okay? Either he felt that the was too wishy-washy, wanted a more definite like no, or something like that. And so he pushes on, and which in my mind it was very foolish of him because of the way that they've been psychologically conditioning him the entire time. Okay? But he does it. He goes after Brendan and says, "Do you disagree with me when I say that?" Immediately puts Brendan on the defensive. Immediately he's going, oh my God, I don't want to be in disagreement with the investigators. So he immediately spits out, no, it's just like, no, I could never possibly disagree with you. And when he says no, he's basically telling Tom Fassbender, yes, I agree with you. She had that tattoo. But she didn't have a tattoo. So to suggest that this is Brendan resisting is laughable, farcical, ridiculous, any other word you can think of. That's what it is for the state to be suggesting that. And then the crowning turd on this crap Sunday is you get 4 learned judges at the 7th Circuit Court who then who then say the same damn thing about the control question and tell us in their decision that it's proof of Brendan resisting, when it's absolutely proof of Brendan buckling. That's what it is. It's proof of Brendan buckling and acquiescing to the wishes of the investigators, or what he thinks the investigators want. So the control question is nothing that the state or Tom Fassbender or the Seventh Circuit majority judges would have you believe. It is the exact opposite of what they say. And so I'm going to step down off my soapbox now and see what's in the comments. The crowning turd on this crap Sunday. You like that one? Let's see for sure. How can anyone not see that the control question is exactly the opposite of what the state says it is? It's so obvious. It does my head in, right? I mean, anybody that understands the English language looks at that and goes, "What? That is not him resisting." Prior to the control question, Fassbender asked if he had seen anything on her body under her top. Brendan said no. Then Fassbender says, what was her tattoo? And Brendan doesn't know what to say. Yeah, and then ultimately agrees that there was a tattoo that wasn't there. But Brendan also says that he saw her naked at one point. I mean, you can't have it both ways. You can't have it that she was clothed and she was naked. I mean, she could have been clothed at one point, but once she becomes naked, then you can see what's under her clothes. So, right? So the fact is that in his confession, this supposed confession, they steer him into saying so many things, and one of the things he says is that she was on the bed naked or whatever. You know, I mean, he saw her stomach. He saw that stuff. If the prosecution is to be believed, if you believe Brendan's confession, which I don't. So, can we talk about Hillegas' hands in the new videos? Colburn escorting SA in and out of the court when he was a called witness. Conflict of interest. This case has driven me mad. Yeah, but that stuff at the court about him ushering, Stephen or whatever when he was a called witness. Yeah, it's bad for him, yeah, or whatever, but nobody's going to care about it. Nobody's ever going to really do anything about it. Love copyright Erekose on my shirt. Oh, thank you. This shirt was dreamed up by Paul Capaldi. You guys may know him, the Mad Scotsman. That's what I call him anyway, the Mad Scotsman. So him and Mark Hodnott got together and they made this shirt. Actually, they made it a little different. They made it where it was just the little box and it didn't say hashtag Brendan Dassey at the top. And Paul got 6 of them made up. He sent me one, he sent Mark one, he kept one, and we raffled 3 off out by the sign out in front of Avery Salvage. We raffled 3 of them off when Mark and I were there for Rally this year. So we raffled the other 3 off. When I made my batch, I had them put, hashtag Brendan Dassey at the top because I wanted people to understand what it was in reference to. So that if people see people wearing this shirt, they didn't just see, ask me about the control question and have no idea what it's in reference to. So I put the hashtag Brendan Dassey at the top so that when people see somebody wearing the shirt, they're going to get an idea of what it's in reference to right away. And it could possibly, get them to want to come up and ask the person about the question. So anyways, it came from Paul Capaldi. He kind of dreamed it up, and then I just took it and added the one little thing and then made my batch of shirts. So anybody who wants one, they're $15 each. If you're in the US, it's $5 for shipping. If you're outside the US, it gets a little trickier. I basically will wait till I get 4 or till I get 6 orders in the UK, and then I'll send them off to Capaldi so he can send them out, and that will bring the shipping down because I can send 6 shirts for $24 or I can send 1 shirt for $24. So if when it's shipping internationally, if I group them, I can get the cost down, so that's where I'm at with the international shipping. So if you put in your order, as soon as I have 6 to go to your country, or that I can send to somebody in your country so that they can then ship them out or something like that, whatever it is, but however it ends up happening. But I know in Australia I have Mark Hodnott. I know in the UK I have Paul. So I have to, but that's basically the way it's going to work so that I can get the cost down on the shipping, because I know nobody wants to pay $24 for shipping for a $15 t-shirt. You know what I mean? So that's where that's all about the t-shirts, and there we go. Autism is an umbrella of various different traits that may or may not have as well as various levels of functioning. So I really don't think it's appropriate to place a label unless you are an MD. Let's see. Brian Wiltrout subpoena spy satellite images. Brendan freaking knows you, bro. Sweet. Did you see the picture, Chase? Carla Chase wore one of my shirts to go visit him. I now have a picture of somebody wearing one of my shirts visiting Brendan. Freaking awesome. You can see it on my Facebook page if you want. You can go to if you have Facebook, you can go to Facebook, type in Erekose MAM, and I have a page. And you can go there, and it's on that page if you want to check it out. I don't know how Alfred plea for the West Memphis 3 came about, but at least they are out and have freedom. Steven said he'd never take a plea, but if it were me in this pile of corruption, I'd take it. Yeah, I suppose. Is there something else on that? Question. KZ says, unusual for BOD to know what TH was wearing and the colors and the lengths and, but yeah, what I have found so far is he says she was wearing black pants, black coat, doesn't know what color blouse, shirt. I don't know, Travis. Basically, that stuff about him saying that, I have to find that and look into that. That's something she came up with that I was kind of not previously really aware of, so I have to look into that more myself. Shweezy, those were from 2 years ago. Not sure if they are still around. Hello, Michelle Blair. I feel they will never be free without an Alfred plea. I don't know. We'll see. KZ's coming up with all kinds of evidence that's just making the state's case look like a joke. So we'll have to see where it ends up. And like I said, she'll keep knocking at the door. West Memphis 3 took an Alfred plea. Yeah. Double-edged sword, Linda. I can't fathom pleading out when I know I did nothing wrong. We're all different, right? Are Satanists guilty or not? OMG, I just seen Laura video. Those men are innocent. This is heartbreaking. Steve is 100% innocent. What do you think of BD saying in the confession? Then he drove the Blazer. SA didn't have a Blazer, but BOD did. So, yeah. That's the implication of that statement in Brendan's confession. But here's the question: Can we even take that statement seriously from Brendan? I mean, when we look and think about it, all the different things that Brendan was saying in the course of that confession, and all the things that they were prodding him to say, all that sort of stuff. I mean, how can we say that any piece of it is significant, really? But however, he does mention a Blazer, and a Blazer, I mean, Steven didn't have one. So I mean, immediately when I watched Laura's video and saw that bit, I had to leave. I had to get out. I had to move on to the next thing. But I immediately just said intriguing. It is. It's intriguing. It's got me thinking. So I mean, and obviously we'll be discussing this in the days and weeks to come. But I mean, to my mind, we gotta, the real question is how can we take it seriously first? And then if we can, then what are the implications? Let's see. Yeah, I see the bruises, which is why squeezing his hands wouldn't cause the swelling, but would leave bruises. Zellner won't take it. I live in Ireland. Hi, Ray. See, Andrew Burns. I'm not sure either. And I live in Arkansas. They would have never got out without the Alford plea. You could be right about strangling. Remember Michelle Sanders? He's a guy too. Ziggy, I think so, as well as had an obsession with her, and I think he was the caller Erekose was talking about. You mean the person that was harassing her? You think, yeah, some people have been saying they think that it's Bobby. That's in reference to what he's talking about, the person calling her. He's referring to Tom Pierce and the statements he gave saying that he witnessed that Teresa was being harassed by phone. But she wouldn't tell him about who it was or anything like that. But he witnessed it and he knew it was happening. Kid thought he was going back to school to turn in project. He had no idea of the implications that were going to follow. Absolutely. And the whole reason why he was keen to get back to school is because he was going to be meeting a girl after school that day. I mean, the level of messed up that Mark Wiegert and Tom Fassbender are is just off the scales, man. How do you know? Maybe he doesn't, Michelle. You can't have it both ways. Zellner and Steven would never do an Alford plea. Absolutely. Brennan's IQ is comparable to the IQ of an 8 to 9-year-old. However, IQ is hard to state in children that age because it is largely education based. I agree. Yes, he was talking about his brother. I asked myself, what if SA did it? But his story is the most consistent, hands down. Why the hell wouldn't he crush the effing car? Absolutely. Hillegas had her appointment book with things that she wrote down that day. Again, a very excellent point. What is going on in this case? What is going on? Because it's clear that it's not right. There's things that are just not right. Ryan Hillegas should not have the day planner that she wrote in that day. Ryan Hillegas should not be telling investigators that she reported the blinker damage to her insurance company, got a lump sum, and just chose not to repair it. He shouldn't be saying things like that aren't true, because Zellner went and found out, and she never made a claim to her insurance company. And I'm pretty sure she never made a claim to anybody else's insurance company, because if she had, I'm sure that Calumet County wouldn't be going and bugging Mike Halbach, the victim's family, to dig through all of his old computers, desperately hoping on a wing and a prayer that they're going to find a picture of that RAV4 with the blinker damage. Yeah. So, we definitely got Ryan doing some things he shouldn't have been doing, looking very, very suspicious, and yeah, absolutely. When I heard the word blazer, I thought it meant jacket. I agree. I traveled. You know what does that? I traveled through the West Memphis, Arkansas last week, and stopped in Casino. I think the stepfather was the killer in that case, and somehow those three got railroaded. Did you see Walker elected Schimmel to a judge before he left office? Yes, he appointed Schimmel as a judge. Good old Shimmy Sham. That's what I call him. Stephen did have a Blazer registered in his name. Teresa photographed it back on August 22nd. However, he had 7 cars registered in his name. Bobby was selling his car. Stephen already had pics. Exactly. And a Suburban Cadillac, 2 Monte Carlos, a Pontiac, and a K5 Blazer. But if it was already had pictures taken of it, so if we go along with perplexed cutie here, she put the clip of Brennan saying that he was PO'd because she didn't come back to take a picture of the Blazer. Well, if Steven had pictures taken of his K5 blazer, then it wouldn't really be Steven that would be complaining about her not coming back to take a picture of it, right? Just the logic of it, right? It wouldn't be Steven being PO'd at her because he got his pictures. Anyways. See, Zellner and Dassey both said no possibility of an Alford plea. That's true. I'd say at the most it was developmentally delayed. Yeah, he grew up and he lived on the salvage yard. Those kids with no cars. My nephews have Fragile X syndrome with autism. They are really, really low mentally. Brendan is way more intelligent than them. He'd have known the difference between a tattoo and a piercing. That's just it. He doesn't mention the piercing. He agrees to a fake tattoo, but doesn't mention the thing that was actually really there. So, yeah. Fire is the beginning of all this. BD is so naive, though. I think he could have I think he could have only saw something, and he wouldn't have thought he was going to get in trouble. What if Brendan was referring to the red blazer prior to taking the pics? Went through her PC, giving the cops information from it. Oh, yeah, Ryan. Absolutely. Why did Hillegas move into her home? Exactly. I don't think RH killed TH. However, I do think RH was involved in the cover-up. I think he had something to do with the RAV4 being moved. That's how he could have obtained the day planner. That is also very true. Nobody is talking about Lieutenant Link. I still feel he had something to do with the death of TH. I don't know. I'm real careful about accusing law enforcement of killing somebody. Oh man, I think I'm talking to a brick wall. Okay. Michelle Sanders, that's what I'm thinking of, because KZ said there was contact in the past between TH and BOD before all of this. KZ said that? Interesting. I'd like to see the proof of that, actually. He was never questioned, never asked for an alibi. Once again, Ryan Hillegas, yes. Alford may make sense for SA at some point as well, most likely linked to health of his parents. I don't think so. His parents come and visit him and stuff. I just don't think he's going to back down. He never does. He's always, I mean, that's one thing about Steven. Jody, but he had pictures taken already. Get my presentation in order before my next one. What will get Brendan out? Good theory, Dan Coates. Has Hillegas, there's no DNA, just his confession. Travis, he has spent his life in jail. He isn't taking an Alford plea. Has Hillegas submitted a DNA sample? As far as I know, no. Are you doing cool? You're a mod now. Apparently, March 5th, an Auto Trader client made unwanted sexual advances to Teresa at his residence, making her uncomfortable. She told her boss, but never hesitated about going back to the Averys. It actually wasn't Teresa, though. It's this DOJ employee that was working Teresa's route before Teresa. That's where that story comes from. Teresa seems like she liked Steven and the people there at the salvage yard, or maybe liked is too strong of a word, but I think it kind of looks like she didn't have any issues with any of them. She was more than willing to go there when she finally got the address. She told Don Pliska, oh yeah, I'm on my way to the Avery salvage yard, and I know them all. I know who's going to be there. They all have little trailers there on the property and that sort of thing. Seems like all casual, no big deal. So I mean, I agree. Hello, Julie. I don't think she will want him to plea out, because then he couldn't sue the state, right? Don't you think, Erekose? Well, that's just it. She's not going. KZ doesn't want an Alford plea. Kathleen Zellner's not going to go for an Alford plea, because, like I said, she's put all this money into doing all this testing and shooting holes into the case. Okay, that's what's got everybody over there worried right now. I'll put it this way: the moment they offer Kathleen Zellner an Alford plea, is going to be the moment that Kathleen Zellner senses blood in the water. Okay? And that is to make the comparison to her being a shark, because the moment they offer an Alford plea, then she has them. Because that shows that they're worried. That shows that they're trying to get out of this. And it shows, I mean, just to make the offer means they're thinking about her evidence and they're hoping to avoid having to go through all that. That's the way it kind of strikes me. Scratches from bushes covering up the Rav. Bobby was obsessed with the decomposing bodies. He might have left her out there to decompose so he can visit and enjoy. Maybe, but other people would have noticed that. That's a little far-fetched, I think. Good evening, Kathy Griffith. Kathy Griffith. Actually, you are wrong. The actual story has nothing to do with them. The original story comes from Trucker Earl and a co-worker of his. I have the proof somewhere. I made a video about it in 2016. That's in the new book. Teresa had no issues with Avery's. Some other guy was harassing her. Just trying to explain the realities of an Alford plea. They are probably never going to offer him one, so it is all academic at this point. How do you find the pics BOD had on the computer? I think there's photocopies or something like that connected to one of the affidavits filed. I'm not exactly sure which one, but we can try to figure that out and dig it up. How is the parking light not being released for testing? Everything should be on the table for testing. The RAV4. I mean, Zellner wants the RAV4, but, you know, they don't want to give it to her. Let's see. Killed on Cuss Road. Left car put to River Dam. BOD. Well, BOD answered TH calls to the house because the name was under Barb. So yes, she had prior contact with BOD, not necessarily cell phone. By the way, state won't owe a dime on the number of years he got on the firearm charge. Yes, that's true. Just similar to the way that the first 8 years of his original 18-year sentence, that first 8 years was rightfully served for pointing a gun at Sandra Morris. So it would be a similar situation here where I don't know what he would get for possession of a firearm as a felon. I've got to imagine it's probably like 2 years, a year or 2 years or something like that. And then the rest of it would all be wrongfully convicted time. The dog tracks are huge inside law enforcement. Ask any LE you know they don't lie or make mistakes. I think KZ was suggesting that BOD was replying to TH calls via computer. I've always thought that guy was creepy and shady. It speaks volumes that they don't want to give KZ the RAV4. Absolutely. Personally, I never liked him or his smirk. Duper's delight. Are they legally allowed to just deny things for testing? Well, yeah. I mean, it's a judge has to order it. A judge has to allow it to be released, I guess. You know what I mean? Well, on the other hand, KZ was dealing with them. See, here's the thing. This is how you know the state is a bit worried about what KZ's coming up with. Because before Judge Sukowitz suddenly and abruptly denied Kathleen Zellner's first 1,000-page motion, when she abruptly did that, Zellner was actually in discussions with the prosecution and was arranging to get more of the evidence. She was arranging to get the skull fragment because Skip Palahniuk wants to take a look at that. She was, I think, trying to arrange to get the RAV4, and the state was preparing to treat with her openly. But soon as Judge Sukowitz suddenly abruptly, denied it, suddenly the state went back to, oh yeah, never mind, So that tells you, and you want further proof? They reopened the Teresa Halbach investigation after she filed that 1,000-page motion. That tells you that they're worried. They're looking to cover their butts, So see. He didn't plead guilty on firearm charge. He was found guilty on that. He stipulated to one element of it. I heard of a call from the area, old man saying to police he thought he shot someone the day she became missing. A son or grandson was in jail. Said he. It sounds like you're talking about Zipperer, George Zipperer, but you've got some of the facts a little bit wrong there. Some of the things that you're saying there are not quite right. I don't totally remember. How do you highlight the name in orange? You put at Erekose on making a murder, or whoever it is you want. So let's say if it was Charla Kane, you would put at symbol Charla Kane. As soon as you put at symbol and start typing it, it'll make a suggestion for you. Somewhere I remember seeing where BOD had at some point propositioned TH and she shot him down. Do you know about that? His deposition in Queso 2.0 has him saying he didn't. I haven't seen where he was saying that yet, but Kathleen Zellner has found it. You won't see it, but the person who you're tagging, Laura, will. It'll appear bright yellow for them because it's supposed to be to them, so it's supposed to get their attention. So you'll see yellow lettering around it. So like for instance, if I type in hashtag PurpleXCutie, you'll see it in yellow. Like that. Barb was at Scott's. They were home alone. Marissa, usually an agency covering up crime, lies. You will find the guilty get a promotion. All what you have said is very interesting. All have gains to be made. You have to be special to get an orange. Travis, you can call me any name. You can call me any name, LOL. I know, right? See, Judge Angela should have recused herself. Let's see. Okay, question. The trailer that S.A. lived in was on the salvage property, but it was not an Avery trailer. It was actually owned by another guy. Some other guy. I forget his name right now. But it was actually owned by somebody else, not Steven. No, you're yellow. I'm orange. Oh, I see. Oh, is that what you meant? Oh, okay. I think it just makes me yellow because I'm the guy on this channel. I don't know. Marissa, your wrench is hot. Hey, by the way, Marissa, when Tard Strength got here last night, right before the video, he was like, "Oh, where's Marissa? Oh, if she's not here in the next 2 minutes, I'm out." And I was like, "Oh, jeez." So you must have a hold on him or something. What are you doing to him? Anyone have a link to BD's phone interview mentioned earlier? All right, Thanksgiving. Anyone have a link to... Let's see. At this point, when I come in, I just sit back and drink my Dr. Pep, enjoy other people's questions. Congrats, your live streams are going well and growing. Congrats. But thank you so much. Thank you so much. The Positively Negative Nintendo Ninja. Very interesting name. That's one. But it was on the Avery property. Can KZ get a different judge? She did try. She did try to ask for a new judge at one point. You know, SA seems like funny, nice guy. Same with TH. What if BOD was looking out the window and they were smiling with each other and it enraged him? Because if he did have an obsession, it would be bad. It's a possibility. BOD is worth over $200,000. On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being guilty, where do you put SA? You're asking me that? Well, as I've said in the past, I do keep a tiny little area of doubt in my mind. So I guess I'm going to have to answer that as a 1. Do you have any developments on your DMV research of DOJ Kathy Williford and Auto Trader Kathy Williford? We have video of ATCW, but no picture available of DOJ KW. The person who is hosting a live is the one who shows in yellow. Don't know about a different judge, but she clearly has a bias. Yes, in the interview of Queso 2.0, he also says Stephen's cabin while he meant trailer. I think this is overlooked by many, but it is him subconsciously thinking of where she was murdered. If I am here, just picture me sleeping. Be a proper stalker, damn it. How do you feel about Jerry Buting and Dean straying? I think I made Dean mad the other day. I personally still kind of like Dean and Jerry. I know a lot of people don't. A lot of people get frustrated. That I had a comment today from somebody on my CIFS video who was like, I don't know about how much you love, how much you love Dean and Jerry, and I just had to answer. I'm like, well, Dean and Jerry just happened to be the ones that started it. I talked about this because I recognized CIFS for what it was, something that needed to be supported, irregardless of who started it. You know what I mean? And so I hope that people don't get too bogged down in that. Okay, guys, I'm outie. 4:30 comes too soon. See you later, Purple. Perplexed. After Steven mentioned cops, he was not home. Always at Mike's. Sleep well, perplexed. Now that's what I call multitasking in a grocery store on chat. Joseph, yes, I do, but I haven't been able to send to Squinty. You guys are funny. Let's see here. Bye, perplexed. I don't hate them, but frustrated about them not utilizing Denny, and me mentioning that made him mad, I guess. Yeah. Erekose, where are you from? Just wondering. I do enjoy your research and options and how you explain your theory. Oh, thank you, Timothy. I am from the West Coast. That's my standard answer. I think Dean and Jerry did the best they could with what they had. Yeah, I think that's probably true. There's guilty, and then there's can you prove someone guilty? And in this case, they couldn't without planting evidence. Fair enough, I guess. Dean and Jerry make good ice cream, but too expensive. Dean and Jerry. Okay. I agree that Dean and Jerry made mistakes. But I still like them, especially Dean. Your answer to the scale question is fair. You have to concede it's a possibility he is guilty. I think he is innocent. I am a 2 on the scale. Yeah, see, for me, I just have to keep a little bit of an open mind there, and that's basically where I'm at. Erekose, I agree. Okay, wait. Sorry. I didn't realize Dean and Co. were so incompetent until KZ pointed it out. I'm out back to investigating. Okay. Read the trial transcripts and you will be impressed with Dean and Jerry. The deck was stacked. They couldn't win with the lousy judge blocking every defense objection. That's true. I mean, they were running a planting and framing defense, and whenever they were trying to bring up how the investigators didn't investigate certain avenues and bringing up, bringing up how they were keeping away the coroner inexplicably, how the coroner's getting called by 2 different city officials to stay away when she was the only department of MCSD that didn't have a conflict of interest, but yet is the only department that isn't allowed on the Avery property. Huh? Yeah. So all that stuff that Judge Willis wasn't letting in, I think is relevant and critical to a framing and planting defense. What he was thinking, I have no idea. This was never getting done in one trial. It was so crazy. They thought the jury would see it like everyone else. Easy look back. New book released today by John Farrak. I know I was going to go buy it, and I'm going to have to wait till Friday. Well, to go ahead and grab it. Demolishing the Case Against Stephen Avery. Downloading the Kindle. About you. I'm about to. Friday. I'm going to get it on Friday. I read most of the transcripts. The police taking the computers was a big error. They can wipe incriminating emails, contacts, throw a bit of sick porn out for the public, would give a one-sided view and not. But I gotta imagine all that stuff's time-stamped, so they would have had to. I don't know how easy it would have been to plan evidence. Some people think it would be easy. I don't know if it would be that easy. KZ Live, November 30th. Not sure if you've seen it yet. KZ's going to do another live Q&A on Twitter. Is that what you mean, Joy? Dean and Jerry did an outstanding job. If KZ finds proof that Bobby killed TH and Kratz kept that info from them, what would happen to Kratz? Maybe something, but probably nothing. Just learned that Josh Call is actually Peg Lautenschlager's son. Yep, I knew that. Brad Schimmel is now a county circuit judge. Yeah, basically. Bye, Millbilly. I don't like the judge at all. He was clearly corrupt. Not sure you can say Dean and Jerry were incompetent, but were they the best? No. Yep, he's going to be in convicting a murderer. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how guilty do you need to be found? How guilty do you need to be found guilty by a jury? Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to equate statements and evidence and pictures and videos and blood spatter analysis and things like that. It's hard to equate those things to a mathematical value, really. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to touch that question, Travis. They also didn't have a highly publicized season of MAN behind them. I hope you're at Foodleon. Okay. You're correct. You're correct about Dean and Jerry. Exactly, Karen. Okay. I think you keep missing my question. LOL. If KZ gets SA out, what is the process for BD's release? How long do you think it will take? Well, if Steven gets out, that's going to be that I would imagine if Steven's case gets overturned and Steven is eventually proven not guilty, that would create considerable doubt for Brendan's case. And I would think that would be something that Drizzen and Knight Rider could then use in court on making a filing for post-conviction relief with Brendan. Wouldn't happen overnight. It would probably still take a year or so, I would think. Yes, and the corridor should have big top dog. Exactly. The bigger question is what other cases did Manitowoc SD plant? Right. Appreciate your dedication to this. Oh, thank you so much. They were two of the best attorneys in the Wisconsin. Don't let the movie change your mind. They did a good job, but they could have met Denny with Ryan Hillegas. Convicting a murder on Netflix next Friday. Oh, really? Interesting. I want that book too. Yeah, John Farrak, folks. Get that guy's book, dude. That is going to be the book right there. Because this guy is a reporter who's been following these cases for a long time. Yeah, I can't wait to read his book. Dean and Jerry are great lawyers. They were up against the biased community and had this and the state that has unlimited resources and motivation to put Avery behind bars. Absolutely. Your hard drive itself actually timestamps things. Absolutely. They were allowed. I reread the computer findings again today, and it clearly said that images were downloaded, not only searches. There were images. I don't know if the images were child porn, if that's what you're asking, but there were images of disturbing things like dead bodies and decapitated heads and things like that. Can't be charged with obstruction of justice. They had a hung jury. They had a mistrial. It was their option to proceed to verdict or not. Not sure what that's in reference to. Prison for KK would be super awesome sauce. Yeah. Not a Q&A. Talking from her office, something like that. Seen it in my news feed. Send me a link, Joy. We'll get that book. We the public should demand Kratz and all the corrupt parties pay for this. They have taken innocent lives, wasted millions of our taxpayer dollars and money, and embarrassed the USA worldwide. Absolutely. You are presumed innocent unless and until the state can prove you are guilty. The state has to eliminate all doubt. So if a 9 means you still have some doubt, it takes a 10 to convict. Sure. But I don't know, like the way they show that chart, I don't know. The way that they talk about it, you get the impression that they would think a 2 or I'm sorry, an 8 might still, you know. Let's see here. Hi, I'm new here, but up to date on things. Have wanted to comment, but I typed too slow. But did you see that Brad Shelley? Yeah, he was appointed by Scott. Yeah, Scott Walker. Scooter, good old Scooter. But I thought BD is out of options. No, the Supreme Court wouldn't look at his case. That means, yes, but if Stephen Avery were to be exonerated, that would be evidence for Brendan, because who was he supposed to have helped? If the person who he was supposed to have helped is no longer, you know, convicted of that crime, and there's already a considerable question around Brendan. I mean, it's all been gone through. I mean, Lachinsky, O'Kelly, I mean, all the things that have happened to Brendan, they're all there to be seen. I would imagine that something like Stephen being exonerated would have an effect. It was in reference chat, J&D, and they got the case to a mistrial, which is phenomenal. I'm not good at this. I want to get a Patreon going to support a covert operation in Manitowoc County, infiltrating the characters' lives and unravel this web. Can't we say KK is guilty? Food Leon does have the profit sharing that I find is really amazing for employees. Yes, the chart. I know what you are saying. Did you guys chase Falcon out? Yes, they do. Remember hearing jurors. There were 7-5. Oh, there were 7-5 innocent at the beginning of deliberations. Absolutely, I totally agree. I just wasn't sure on this law process. Falcon was spotted at a bathhouse in Wisconsin earlier with Nick Berg. Oh, Luke Berg. That's strains credulity, you know. Hi, Erekose. Who do you think did it after the new evidence? RH or BOD? I used to think RH because of the Day Journal, but that can be explained. Cops gave it to him. How can we or Zellner find out? As far as who I think, I'm keeping an open mind right now. There's just too much evidence going too many different directions. I'm reserving judgment. Apparently justice isn't blind in Wisconsin. Kratz was probably the inspiration for the cheesehead. That dude's head is full of curds. What book are you talking about? Please tell us about the author again. John Ferak. Johnferak. The book is called Wrecking Crew, and it has a picture of Zellner on the front of it, and it's going to be a good book. And so John Ferak, Wrecking Crew, look for the picture of Zellner on the cover. What concrete evidence she was killed? I'm not saying she is alive, just evidence. Other than the bones that the FBI says that they were able to do a mitochondrial DNA test on some of the flesh that was connected to one of the bones or whatever, and they said that they were able to do a test and that it came back as Teresa's. There's been a lot of speculation about that, so yeah. I agree, reserving judgment is a smart move. Hello, everyone. BD has very limited options. He has to find new evidence in order to get back into court. As Erekose points out, if KZ can come up with something, BD may be able to use that. That's also a fair point. If KZ comes up with some kind of piece of evidence that it's favorable to Brendan, that could actually, show, say, I don't know, maybe that he couldn't, like he wasn't actually there. Like, for instance, let's say she came up with proof that Brendan was actually across town and on a video camera at an arcade or something, right? We know that's probably not true, but for an example, if she was able to find something like that would be able to be used by Laura Nyrider and Steven Drizzen. They'd be able to get back into court and go, hey, look, how could he have done this if he was on this tape here over at this arcade, type of thing. So yes, if KZ turns something up that can help Brendan, it'll get him back into court. The bus driver said she saw TH at 3:30. I don't think she saw TH, but I do believe she gets there between 3 and 3:40 every day at the salvage yard to drop the kids off. I do believe that. Very true. All them many calls to Hillegas. I'm so happy I have been catching you live. Let's see here, what happened? I catch you live every time you're 1 hour. Catching you live every time, but you're 1 hour in, so I missed a lot. Oh, I'm sorry, Jay Lala. Here's a link to the book on Amazon. Thank you, Marissa. Do you think that one will be released or both? Realistically, I believe ultimately that they will get out. Good morning, Erekose. Ordered Wrecking Crew today. Can't wait to read it. Me either. I want to get my hands on that sucker. I think Erekose and I are on the same page. I don't know who did it, but who cares? Well, I wouldn't. Everything but the who cares part. I care. I do care. Let's see. On what day did Scott Blodorn call Steve Speckman with the number taken from the day planner? I believe it was on the 4th. I believe it was on November 4th, if I remember correctly. I'm pretty sure it was the 4th. Or if SA gets out, BD could look at communication. Could look at commutation or pardon by governor. Ferak book is free on Amazon Kindle if you sign up. That's true. If you would like to support Erekose, oh, thank you. By the way, Marissa, I have also okayed people to use Super Chat again if they want, because YouTube has decided to lay off, and they're not preventing my videos from getting shared. So they've stopped messing with me. So I've gone ahead and okayed people to do Super Chat if they want to. If that's not, nobody's obligated to do anything, but I just wanted to let Marissa know because she wasn't here last night. So, but I have gone ahead and okayed it for those who want to do it. How can you and others reserve judgment when weighing evidence is what detectives and I explained it very well. I explained myself very well. There's a lot of things about Ryan that are strange. There's a lot of things about Bobby and Scott that are strange. And there's a lot, I mean, there's a lot of things coming up right now that are coming out against all of those parties. I am not prepared to pick at this point in time. Sorry. But definitely those three parties have some explaining to do. Getting your schedule, steps towards SA. They will get out when Making a Murderer 3 comes out, I hope. Let's see. Adrian, I'm in the same boat. Trying to solve this. Does SA PRBD no good? Does SA or BD no good? It has no bearing if they got fair trial or rights were violated. So I'm confused. But what's so sketchy about Scott Taddick having several properties in the area? Well, it just so happens that the RAV4 was found very nearby to the place where he lives now. I mean, people are just looking at the proximity of that, and you know, because there was a place where people said they saw the RAV4 parked over by a dam or whatever, and apparently where it was parked is actually like within within a mile or half a mile of where him and Barb live now. So people have taken that to mean that, you know, something a little more possibly. So you're sure though? I hope they don't take 3% from 3%. It's 30%. I said if you want to. You don't have to. You can still use the PayPal. Listen, folks, if you want to use Super Chat, you can. I'm just saying. I'm not asking you guys to stop anymore. But if you guys would prefer to go to PayPal, hey, you know what? You can actually choose not to donate any of your money to me at all, and I'll still love you for it. So, whichever way you want, however you want to do it, whichever makes you happy, donate Super Chat, donate PayPal, or don't donate at all. Whatever floats your boat, then that's good with me. Was Scott Taddick in law enforcement? No, I don't think so. Details sent to Richmond Cadam. Adrian, correct. It's made the USA judicial system a laughingstock globally. Certainly, Super Chat takes 30% and PayPal doesn't. That's, you know, basically, if you want to see your message go floating through the chat, you just got to realize that you're giving YouTube 30% of it. So it's just something for people to be aware of. If you're going to use Super Chat, just know that you're giving away 30%. You're giving YouTube 30%, which maybe is not so bad. I mean, YouTube creates this nice little area for us to get together here and talk and chat and talk about the case and everything. So maybe occasionally they deserve a little 30% here or there. So it's up to you guys, though. Like I said, I'll love you no matter what. If you donate, don't donate, whatever. Can donate money to me if you guys want. Like I said, nobody has to donate anything to me. You are right. It's an ongoing investigation, but now it's being investigated fairly by Zellner, not biased cops like Wiegert and Coleman. Absolutely. You can donate money to me, yeah, or buy a T-shirt and email Erekose at gmail.com. Yes. Hello, Eric and everyone. 30% is way too much. I agree. It's quite a bit. And I'm, you know, I feel like you guys should know that before you do it. So thank you, Sela. So let's see what I miss here. Again, I'm not trying to figure out who, how, what, where. I just know it didn't happen like they said. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, new evidence to get back into court, it would be trial court at first. New evidence has a very limited and specific definition. He has no shot at getting back in front of the U.S. Supreme Court. Absolutely. Dude hacked her password, called from a blocked number multiple times. It was the boyfriend. Hello from Manitowoc County. Hello, Dustin. How you doing, buddy? It does take money to operate, though. Oh wow, that's crazy. Thanks for the clarity. Also, don't you think it's weird Scott possibly sold the 22 rifle? Yeah, that is weird that he was trying to sell that rifle. Thanks for telling us that, Erekose. You're welcome. Sent money through Super Chat. Friggin' NJ took 7% sales tax. Wow. Jeez. Lord knows what Erekose got. I know, right? Yeah. So if you guys want, I mean, if it's helping me, you really want to do, then you should probably go to PayPal. If you're just wanting to see your message float up through the chat and get a bunch of attention, then, use Super Chat. Let's see here. Mike Hallbach also guessed their password. No, he didn't guess it. He actually knew it. That's the other weird thing. We got deleted voicemails, and we have Mike Hallbach on the stand admitting that he knew how to access her voicemail, that he got into it, that he listened to messages, but he didn't delete any. I mean, are you kidding? It's just so bizarre, the things with this case. Showing the world as farce should be enough evidence to cast reasonable doubt over the whole case itself. It's a joke, everything about it. It's what not to do in any legal case. Well said. I don't care for speculation at pointing at someone. That is what happened to SA and BD. Don't need to have a witch hunt to free them or pull a TH down. Correct. Don't piss off the sheriff's department. Marissa, do you give any money to the family? Do you go, Marissa? I have no money, Dustin. Ethel Smith, hi everyone. I told Erekose this in an email. I don't see any blocked calls from the calls. Can someone direct me? Are you making those shirts yourself? You're asking this shirt? You're talking about this shirt right here? Yes, I had them made. In fact, went through a huge explanation earlier in the video. But yes, I have them made. And I already know what your next question is going to be. Let's see here. All right, I can buy that. If it was her B-day for her password, ask for a moderator salary. They were gunning for him the day he got out. I'm fairly certain the only way to listen to voicemails is to have the phone itself. Well, and that's the thing, is that the phone had to have powered back up for people to have been able to call Teresa on, because the voicemail got picked up on the second, and there was room in there, and people were able to leave messages. Problem is that Teresa's phone had been powered off, and for like 2 days people were calling and it was just going straight to her voicemail. Like, and then eventually it would just say, voice box is full, and then hang up on people, right? So the thing is that her phone started ringing again after those voicemails got deleted, because her phone had to get powered back up. And once her phone powered back up and sent its ID information to Singular, then people were able to call again, and it was actually ringing instead of going straight to voicemail. So that's an interesting thing. The phone did get powered back up on like the first or second, because that's the only way it could have started ringing again for people. And it is documented that people did call and it rang, and they got the voicemail message. That was a false flag theory. Crisis actors. I know the new sheriff. To tell you the truth. Talking about Wiegert. Can you please explain the clothing to Dustin? So, so what, so you make shirts like this for a living? Where are you at? Canada? Travis, no, what's important is the truth in a fair, clear, transparent system, because there for the grace of God go any of us or our children. Big in-house cleanup needed. So essentially, Dustin, these shirts, I sell them for $15. If you're in the United States, it's $5 for shipping. If you're international, it gets a little trickier. I have to wait until I get 6 orders so that I can send 6 shirts for the $24. Well, that's what it was to go to England or to go to the UK. It was $24, and I could send up to 6 before it went up enough in weight that it upped the price. So I was able to put 6 shirts and stay at the $24 price. So that would mean that 6 people could get that split across them. So that means each person would be $6, and then whatever the cost it takes for Mr. Capaldi to send it from there to each individual person. So it'd be $6 plus, I imagine, I don't know, whatever, $3 or $4 probably that it's going to cost him to send it in country. In the country there. So that's it. $15 for the shirt, $5 shipping here, and a little bit trickier if it's international, but I hope that doesn't put the international people off. I would love to think that some of these shirts are around the world. So I was looking at the cell phone plan and it showed how to access the voicemail. It's a landline and you follow the prompter. Yes, but in order for the phone to ring again, in order for her account to ring again, the phone, a cell phone had to be powered up on the singular network in order for it to start ringing before going to voicemail again. Jared Carey, TH's stepfather, is also her uncle's. Can you clear up whether Mike was Teresa's biological or stepfather? I saw a video the other day saying he was her stepbrother, and it was the first time. I think. Wait, was it that? No, he's her brother. He's her brother, but God, it's been so long. Michael is her brother, and I think the only thing is that Teresa's mom's current husband is actually like Teresa's dad's brother or something like that. It's something weird like that, actually. So maybe credit an Etsy page. Mike is Teresa's cousin, then stepbrother by marriage. Adrian's spot on, but God works in mysterious ways, and the truth always comes out in the end. Maybe this case will change things for the better. Any comment on Laura's latest bombshell? Yeah, go watch the beginning of this video. Erekose explained the control question 45 minutes ago. Do you even know what the control question is? Didn't see anybody asking about the control question. I'm guessing the stepbrother only because I know she had a stepfather. Falcon, he talked about that at the beginning of the video. Think truth matters, but if you're looking for the truth with statements, good luck. Evidence matters, and the blood and the blood and no fingerprints doesn't point to SA and BD. May Casey help TH rest in peace. What is the Laura bombshell? Okay, so the Laura bombshell is the thing about Brendan saying that Stephen was PO'd because Teresa wouldn't come back to photograph his blazer. He said that in the interview. Problem is Stephen, well, okay, as somebody pointed out today, Stephen did have a blazer, but he had it photographed by Teresa. He already had it photographed by her, so it doesn't make sense that he would be PO'd that she didn't, as Brendan said. So, as I said, go back and watch the beginning of this video because we talked about it for, I don't know, about probably 15, 20 minutes. Let's see here. Only thing to know about Brendan is there is in zero evidence against him, and without his testimony, Andy human with any sense, no testimony is a fairy tale. He's innocent and needs released. I find it funny that Con is in the name of Wisconsin, as in the conspiracy state, right? Absolutely, that's funny. Adrian, I never said it didn't. I never said it didn't. Let's see. The only thing to know about Brendan is there's zero evidence against. Okay, wait, I read that already. Okay, I never said. Okay, Adrian, I never said it didn't. What's with the biting? You can quit that. I mean, does anyone on the street ever ask? Does anyone on the street ever ask the question? Okay. Not stepbrother, half brother. See, ask about the question. Michelle, are the photos of Ryan's bruised hands on Fresh Start Monday not real? Who was it? Who was it that said, "Look at Teresa's life to find out who killed her"? Well, I know that Zellner's expert on investigations said that because it's part of something called victimology that should be done in all investigations, but I'm not sure if that's what you're referring to. When you share one parent, you have half siblings. My thing with the guilter is why you scared about retrying them. Convince me I have common sense. I think Brendan may have witnessed the murder or heard talk of it, but I don't believe that boy was capable. No matter what, I don't believe he was involved or took part. Absolutely, I will never believe that. But maybe saw something. Maybe. Only thing Brendan is capable of is murdering some ramen noodles. Yeah, or a piece of pizza. Or a hamburger. Or a cheeseburger. Are you going to continue to cover other serial killers, i.e. the rodents in Ohio? I can. I could. YouTube doesn't like the serial killer videos, by the way. Control makes the screen larger. Ah, see, look, somebody's there suggesting that I'm squinting. See, look, right there. He's right here in live chat. Let's see. I asked that question on here. Who were her friends, connections, hangouts? Why? Ryan said the black hands were from marker markings. Yes. I've been watching your videos for a while. You are getting better and better. Well, thank you very much. Let's see, what is that? SimStack, thank you very much. Does anyone ever ask you about the question after seeing your t-shirt out in public amongst the English, so to speak? I actually work so much, Falcon, haven't really gotten to wear it out like into public places a whole lot yet. You know, I work a lot. It's how I fund this little shindig. If Fassbender swabs KK groin, how much DNA would Sherry Culhane be able to quantify from the swab? Might be a demonstration for KZ to request. Can't listen to the beginning of the video until you stop streaming. Well, I was already thinking about it. So, it seems like a good point as any to go ahead and introduce the end of the stream here. That's okay. I thought you knew something. I was just trying to think outside of the box and to find a clue or a different avenue, perspective to look at the whole case. Brendan has nothing to do with this. It's so criminal what happened to him. Absolutely. Unless you're an idiot unless you are an idiot and inhuman, Brendan is innocent. He's this disabled learning kid that was used to frame Stephen. How many system of justice can keep him locked up is inhuman. How the system of justice can. Do you write the Avery opening? Oh, do I write the opening tunes? No. I've just started watching your videos and I love them. So those tunes are created, those songs at the beginning of my videos, those are created by Stacy Seabrook. I'm sure Marissa will probably throw up a link for you here in a second to his channel, and you can go see, and he has a pretty wide collection of MAM songs that he has written, and they are brilliant. Owls are people too. I'm not victim blaming, but Teresa did have some dicey relationships. She had a married lover, yes, and of course Ryan Hillegas, and she was apparently had some relations with Scott Blodorn. You know, like I say, you know, Teresa was she was a young 20-something experiencing life. I don't hold any of these things against her, but they were the type of things that could put her at risk for this kind of thing to happen. Good morning, Captain. I've been asked the control question when I'm wearing mine. Ah, awesome. See, Paul got to go and take his out in public a bit, and he got asked, and that's awesome. I imagine when I eventually get to, you know, take mine and go somewhere that I'll probably get some get asked about it. Curious about the day planner. Yeah. I've already talked about this day planner so much today. What was the state's response for him having? As far as I know, there is no response. There's no explanation for anything. And there's nothing here that is in which the state has offered to explain any of it. Sort of, I guess, but only in reply or in response briefs and stuff, and they don't really say a whole lot in those. Beauty collected the blood. He might have taken SA underwear to wipe on hood. Yeah, I guess. Have y'all already discussed the false flag theory in one of your videos? And if not, what do you think about that? I'm not sure what you're referring to. All right, so yeah, so good night, everybody. I think we're gonna go ahead and call it a day. You know, sure, there's nothing wrong with going commando, you know, but you know, unlike Steven, you should probably still own some underwear in case, you know, I don't know, you gotta go to the doctor or something. You know, I don't know. Anyway, it's just crazy the jury wouldn't have thought about why he had it or why he did defense, not pin him down on it. Yeah, absolutely. Gotta run. We'll see you, Michelle. I'm about to sign off as well. So, computer printed schedule, which is erroneously referred to as the day planner. You know, you all can obviously stay here in the chat and talk as long as you want. Probably for the last week and a half, I've been having people hanging around in here for 2-3 hours, continuing to discuss. So if you want to do that, you can. There's usually a fair amount of people in here to discuss with. So that's an option if you want. If you haven't already, please hit subscribe. We'll see ya.